Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I've been tasked with doing this session talking about how India is taking center stage on the global hospitality development. The good news is that this is a short session, so you're not going to ultimately have to start answering your WhatsApp or playing Wordle on your phone. The bad news is that we have very little time to get the best out of two of our very, very dignified industry stalwarts from across the globe. But let's not waste any time. Let's go straight into this session. Raj, we're in the almost entering the last quarter of this year. So tell us the report card for India and how does it stack up with the rest of the countries that you sort of oversee?
You know, India remains a bright spot. Really, we had a little bit of a blip in the second quarter, which everybody is very well aware of. But I'm reasonably confident, like last year, we will finish the year well in double-digit RevPAR growth. So overall, as I said, India remains a bright spot. In fact, there are only about 3 or 4 other markets in Asia Pacific that are in the same range as India is. So we are very proud of where we are at from an India point of view.
Targets done for the year already, Raj?
No. There's always work to do, and we can always do more.
Dimitri, what's your take, and are the development folks going to make a shitload of, a lot of money?
Yeah, I mean, Raj announced some great deals the last couple of months. For us, it's very simple. First of all, it's exciting to be here, as always. That voice, where is he? The MC. That voice, I keep on hearing, every time I leave this conference, I keep on hearing that voice. Mate, that voice, love you. Come here, I need to give you a hug. That voice is unbelievable. I love it. Sorry, Raj, you missed that point. That's the best voice in the industry. Give him a round of applause. So we're gonna finish the year. I think Rahul and the team here are doing a phenomenal job. We're only a franchise business, so we don't have the abilities that Raj and his team has. You know, we never managed in this country, and this is a managed country. So we're gonna finish the year hopefully with 100 hotels, open and operational hotel. We've got a great pipeline. We're bringing more brands in the country. And I mean, just excited about India. I think we were together at the NYU in New York, and we had 6 CEOs there, and all of them, they spoke out of the hour that they had, 45 minutes, they spoke about India, which is quite remarkable. And I think you should all be very proud of it, and you should give yourselves a round of applause. You had 6 CEOs of the world's biggest hospitality companies for 45 minutes talking about India. I mean, that's remarkable. It kept me in the job, so thank you for that. So I keep myself employed, but yeah, I think Raj is actually feeling exactly the same. So
that was actually almost surreal, seeing 6 of the top global CEOs on stage in New York, and everybody just talking about India as the next big...
Am I right? That's exactly what happened, right? Yeah, exactly.
Raj, coming back to you, India obviously is on a roll, and it's been sort of a country with a lot of promise for a fairly long time. That promise didn't materialize for several years. But do you think that we are now at an inflection point where India is going to be the breakout nation and be the world's fastest sort of growing hotel development country or region? Or do you think it's a little early to call? And I'd love to get your candid thoughts on this, not necessarily politically correct.
Yeah, Mandeep, my perspective is, having been somebody who was born in India, I've seen India from inside and outside, I've been in the business now for about 35 years. You have to be invested in India from a long-term perspective, right? And that's been our view all along. In fact, if you look at Marriott's history, we've continued to invest in the country from a long-term perspective all along. infrastructure in terms of roads and airports and so on, but also how we deliver great product and great services. So there is opportunity across the board from my point of view, but it has to be viewed from a long-term perspective. I don't think India is a market where you can just ship in and ship out. I think you can make a lot of money there.
Yeah. Dimitri, you are very candid normally in whatever you say, so let's for a minute assume there's just you and me in this room, and Raj, who's not actually in this room. And I want your honest opinion about what you think about India, and you can swear on your yellow glasses that you're going to speak the truth.
So no, I fully agree with Raj. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. We've been in India for many years. We've been patient. We never left. First of all, for me, India is amazing because it has helped me personally to save my marriage twice now. Every time I need to renew my marriage, actually, I just came back from Jodhpur where I celebrated my 30th year anniversary with my wife. And there are two things that you need to know about being 30 years married. A, distance is the recipe for the best marriage. And second, what is the most expensive thing in the world is a divorce. So India has helped me to actually stay married. Every time I need to renew my vows with my wife, I bring her to India. So that's what India is all about. You provide an amazing feeling to people and you still respect hospitality at its core. Something which I'm very unhappy to say we've lost in Europe. You make the guest, respective if it's a 1-star or a 5-star, you make the guest feel special. And that's something we've lost. If India never loses that, capitalizes on that, continue to make this the center of your industry, I think the future of the Indian hospitality is amazing. There are three things that makes me excited for being here. A, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. It's not going to happen in 2 years. It will take time. Second, you are exporting talent. There are more, when I grew up in hospitality, and I've been here for 35 years in this business, you could not be a GM unless you were German, Swiss, French, or English. Now, 50% of the world's GMs are Indians. That is the beauty of Indian hospitality, right, Raj? I mean, look at how many of your hotels are actually Indians. You are not, I've said it again and again, you are not the workforce anymore. You are the senior management. And you can help the rest of the world to infuse Eurasian hospitality into making the guest the king. That is what the real future of the Indian hospitality is. Plus, one more thing, sorry, inbound tourists. Guys, Greece, where I come from, we are 9 million people, so we are a small city of India, and we have 32 million tourists every year. You are 1.4 billion people, and you have 15 million tourists. That's unacceptable. You have to introduce India to the world. And this is one of Wyndham's #1 priority, how we can bring more international, and I know Raj and a lot of international brands in this room do this exactly in the best of their abilities. We need to introduce India to the world.
I couldn't agree more. But you know, that example you gave about talent and how we have a lot of Indian general managers and leaders across the world, I think we need them all back. We've got a huge scarcity of top talent in this country now at the rate at which we are growing. So I think we need a bit of a reversal on that. Raj, coming back to you, your growth in India, and it's been phenomenal. You're now, by various metrics, the largest sort of operating company in India. Your development largely has been in the upscale, upper upscale. Mid-scale has been a sort of around circa 15% of your portfolio. What do you think about the mid-scale market in India, and how are you addressing it going forward? Talk to us a little bit about your new acquisition and that fabulous brand that you've launched, Series by India. First time a global leading hotel company has launched an India-specific brand. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So Mandeep, as you know, we have today in our current portfolio about 160 open hotels and a pipeline of another 137 actively under construction or conversion as we speak. We announced the firm deal exclusively with Series by Marriott this year, which is in addition to what I just mentioned. Before the end of this year, we will have over 200 operating hotels in India as we bring the full portfolio online sometime early November. We've been working through the integration phase, and then our objective is to scale that up over the next few years. From my perspective, the opportunity is endless. When you think about today, with our portfolio, we are in 45 cities. As soon as firms starts to come in, and as all the 85 come in the next, November through first quarter, we will be in 90 cities across India. Now, if you just look at the municipalities, so-called, across the country, there's about 750 of them. And the way I see it is you could easily have a firm Series by Marriott hotel in every single one of them. So the opportunity is large, and many of my colleagues sitting, might not believe in what I'm saying, or some may say I'm underestimating the growth. But my view has always been that I have had the luxury of watching China play out over the last 30 years, and I genuinely believe India is on a very similar trajectory. The timeline will vary, but there is space to grow and get this country to about 1 million rooms in the next few years.
I hope they are recording this. He's getting into my space.
Yeah.
Raj is talking about mid-scale. I love it. But Raj, you're going to be excited because I'm getting into your space, mate. Tomorrow we're opening our first Wyndham Grand in Jaipur.
Yeah.
So I'm getting into your space. Watch it.
Dimitri, coming to you, you've been largely in the sort of mid-scale development, and
What he now loves.
yeah. How are you seeing that growing in India? How's the market for mid-scale? Also, tell us a little bit about the Microtel brand that you launched, and how's that sort of looking and shaping up?
Look, we love. I mean, we are the darling of Wall Street, right? Our stakeholders, our shareholders love us. Mid-scale. I mean, you have to think about it. 12% of the world sits in the luxury space. Where does the red sit? This is our space, and this is why Raj now is so excited to actually enter the mid-scale, and I'm sure at some point the economy scale, because this is where the majority of the population lies. So it's not. I mean, luxury is amazing, right? I was, as I said, I was in Jodhpur for the last 48 hours, and I couldn't believe the luxury. But as I say to my team, you make a lot of money selling mid-scale, so you can spend it in 5-star deluxe hotels. So Rahul and his team, they make a lot of money selling microtels and ramadas, and they go and spend it with Raj at one of his hotels. So that's where mid-scale is. Mid-scale is a class and a segment that nobody can say no to.
True.
As is luxury, right? As is luxury. I use a lot the BMW example. If you look at BMW, and I'm not a car guy, but X1, X2, X3, X4, X5, X6. BMW makes all its money by selling X1, X2, and X3. But they're very proud of an X5 and X6, exactly as Raj is. He's very proud of his JW Marriott, but he's going to make a lot of money from his series, right? Is that series? I love that. That's where he's going to make all his money.
So he said he's not a cars guy, but I have to tell you a little secret about him. After Imelda Marcos, Dimitri has the largest collection of shoes in the world. Right?
Oh no, you're not. No. So my father died 2 years ago at the age of 93, and he was a child of war. He never went to school. he became a very successful man, never learned how to read and write. But I remember one thing as we were growing up, and I have to answer this. He said, every time I was asking for something, he was saying, at your age, I didn't have shoes to wear. I didn't even have shoes to wear. So I think if I have a lot of shoes, I'm okay. I'm happy. So I've got about 300 pairs of shoes just to make sure, That's the only reason why.
Okay.
Just to make sure.
Moving to we'll change the pace of this. We'll move to try and get to know these two gentlemen a little better. Raj, I'm going to come back to you. You did your growing up in Delhi. You went to school here. And then I learned that you had this great ambition to be a fighter pilot. But then that pivoted in you landing up the IHM Pusa, the world's best hotel school, where I can boast that you're my junior from school. But anyway, tell us a little bit about that journey and how you ended up being in hotel school from wanting to be a fighter pilot.
Well, again, my eyes let me down in the physical, and I was given the option of joining Army or Navy, and that wasn't where my passion was. It was in hotels. Interestingly, my father was a senior railway executive, so as many of us sat through many exams, I sat through a railway engineering exam as well, and I had no idea how I passed it. Basically, I was told at that point in time that all I had to do was just give an interview, and then I could potentially end up as a senior executive for Indian Railways, but that's not where my passion was. So I had to sit my father down one evening and really try to convince him that I'm not going to follow his footsteps. And I'm going to basically choose a career in hotels, which he understood, but many others challenged me and said, you're okay becoming a waiter or a supervisor versus this opportunity of becoming an engineer. I took it for whatever it was worth, and thankfully it worked out quite well. But, many of us go through some pivotal moments in life. And for me, IHM Pusa is obviously a great school that gets you to learn how to be street smart, how to work through some of the critical elements that are important to hoteliers. But the next was also, as a management trainee, having to work through ITC Sea Sheraton for about 4 or 5 months when 1,100 employees walked out of that hotel on Christmas Eve, and we had to really run the hotel, live in the hotel. That was a pivotal moment of learning. And to me, till today, I always say I have no issues in rolling up my sleeves and jumping in to anything, from making a bed to washing dishes. That's what good hoteling should be all about.
Ever thought about writing a book, Raj? It could be a bestseller.
Well, that's how you do Dimitris. He's far better than I am.
Hey,
Yes,
this is the second time that you don't show up live, so I take it personally, mate.
Dimitri, I'm going to come to you. You were born in Athens, and your first hospitality lesson came out of the delicatessen and grocery store that your dad ran. Yes?
Yep.
Tell us about your journey, pivoting from there to getting into tourism, your undergrad, post-graduation, and how you ended up in this sector.
Look, my dad is my hero, right? As I said, he died at the age of 93 2 years ago. A very wise man. Actually, my dad is the only guy that I've met in my life that he never had a passport. And every time I tried to get him out of Greece, he kept on saying, everything that I need is here. So I never understood what that meant, but he actually died a very happy man. So he had a store in Greece, and then he made it into a huge business with various stores in Greece. And he was so attentive to his customers, always with a smile. And I knew how tough it was because, it was a very, when he was coming home, I knew how tough his business was. And I always admired the fact that he was the happiest man on the planet, not with his wife, my mother, and me and my brother, but among his customers. And I realized that service and that happiness actually was contagious. his customers were equally happy. And I said, my God, I want to be in this business. So I graduated from the Athens University, and then I needed some money for the summer to go and travel and enjoy back in the 80s. And a friend of mine said, oh, why don't you come? The new Intercontinental Hotel in Athens has opened. Why don't we get a summer job and we get some money and we travel Europe? And then I met a guy who died, I heard a few years. I'm talking a lot about death in this. Anyway, he died about 3-4 years ago, and his name was John O'Shea. And he was the general manager of that Intercontinental. The Athens Intercontinental had 600 rooms. It was the second international hotel in Athens. And John O'Shea, I saw him the first day. That's why I brought this. So John O'Shea, the first day I met him, I saw this guy coming down the stairs. He had a stick like this, like an army officer, and he was walking around. Everybody opened, and everybody stayed away from him. And he's the general manager of that hotel. And I said to myself, I just met God. I just had a divine experience. This guy is God. I want to be him when I grow up. I want to be John O'Shea. And I said to myself, and I said to my friend, forget about summer, forget about making money, I'm going to stay here, mate. That's my future. And that's how I started. I wanted to be John O'Shea. I never managed to be John O'Shea. It's okay. But I met God. I met God when I was 21 years old, because that guy in that hotel, going around with a stick like this, like an army officer, he was God to all of us. So that's how I ended up in the industry. I never washed dishes, by the way. I did worse things than that. Never washed dishes.
Okay, just as we get to wrap up, we're going to do a quick rapid fire. I'm going to start with you, Dimitri. The one word that comes to your mind when you think about the Indian hotel sector.
One word that I think, and I asked ChatGPT about this. I knew his Western, so I went into ChatGPT and I said, okay, give me the answers. The answer is explode.
Explode.
Yeah, that's what the answer is.
I like that. Raj?
Yeah. Opportunity.
Opportunity. Wow, great. If you had to bet on one Indian city becoming the next global big destination, which city would that be?
In India, I think Bangalore. Bangalore is going to be, with all the tech that is going on, and we heard Sid earlier with Superhero, I think that's going to be the place where a lot of things are going to happen in the future.
Raj?
I think Hyderabad.
Okay.
Because, I really disagree with Dimitri. I think Bangalore is awesome, but infrastructure in Hyderabad
Sucks.
There you go.
Yeah,
is extremely well set up, so they could catch a lot.
Interesting. One Indian city that you think global leaders and decision makers or investors are underestimating?
Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. Okay. Raj?
Yeah, for me, it's either Pune or Chennai. Both have some infrastructure issues,
Sure.
but if they fix that, the opportunity is huge.
A hospitality practice from India you would love to see adopted worldwide?
I experienced it this weekend. Guest is God.
Yeah.
I think that's what we are missing around the world. And you guys have made it here practice. So I want to see that exploding. And actually, if I was your Minister of Tourism, after Incredible India, that would be my #1 message. Guest is God. Welcome to India.
Great.
I can take a commission if that happens.
Raj, what would that be for you?
I'm ready to give Dimitri that permission.
Okay, the last one.
I agree with him 100%. Although I'm a big believer that every country should be very proud of their local, offerings. So hospitality truly has to come from the heart, right? Be it Greeks or Italians, they've always been exceptionally hospitable people. I think, sometimes the stresses of the world kind of puts different kind of pressure on all of us. But it's this constant reminder for us to be truly hospitable. We just got to believe and deliver on the true local experience.
Right. Okay, the last one. One local Indian dish or beverage or snack you'd happily like to see on every global menu card.
Butter chicken.
Butter chicken. It's probably there. Raj?
There you go. If we has mine over.
Okay.
Butter chicken by series, by Marriott.
Yeah, and if you know, and you probably do, that Marriott started as a restaurant company. It was not a hotel
Of course,
company.
of course. We are.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll take this to its conclusion. Just that if you were wondering why we are standing and everybody else was sitting is because I heard Bhuvnesh telling his team over there saying, ये competition है, ये भी conference करता है, इसको कोई कुर्सी मत देना बैठने के लिए. But on a lighter note, thank you very much, Raj. Thank you very much.
We love you, buddy. We love you. Take care.
You've been a great audience. Thank you.
Take care.